Hello there. Thank you for joining us on Court TV News at midday. I am Frank Omalape. The impeachment process against Mbati Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has been taken to another level as the 19 APC lawmakers at a plenary sitting direct the Ekiti State Chief Judge to constitute a 7-man investigation panel to look into the allegations raised against the governor in the impeachment notice. The directive was contained in the resolution of the lawmakers as they sat at an undisclosed location, which they claim was Mary Hill Boys High School in Ado-Ekiti. The sitting, which ought to be held at a hallowed chamber of the House of Assembly, was taken out due to the content of the place. The Chief Judge was, however, given 7 days to constitute the said panel according to the law. However, in his swift reaction, the principal of Mary Hill Boys High School, Bolanle Fasua, denies any sitting in the school premises. She argues that no sitting takes place in her school, as there was no way the lawmakers would have had the chance to have plenary sitting while students are writing examinations.
There is English language work, and almost all my teachers were in school, because today we distributed report sheet to students because of the prompt holiday due to this election period. So we are all in school, the students were all there, the teachers were all there, my VPs were there, the registrar was there, and I was there. And after the first paper, there was a recess. The students had recess, and then they had to go in for the afternoon paper. And I want to say here that we have just one hall in that school, and the hall is being utilized by the SS3 students. So I don't know where they held the meeting. I'm not aware of it.
And now the impeachment fever and the subsequent crisis that has gripped Ekiti State for some days has called for concern from the state's traditional rulers, rising from an extraordinary emergency meeting. The monarch calls for peace among political players as they also urge INEC to ensure the peaceful conduct of the House of Assembly election. Our correspondent Rashid has more in this report.
Following the impasse between the Ayo Fayose-led Ekiti State government and the Adewale Omirin-led House of Assembly, events in Ekiti State has been a major source of concern for the state's traditional rulers. Rising from an emergency meeting, the Obas appealed to politicians to come to the round table, especially as the House of Assembly elections approaches in a matter of hours.
Council hereby appeals to all the political gladiators to shield their swords, eschew violence, and give peace a chance. Council therefore appeals to the law enforcement agencies to ensure the security and safety of lives and property of Ekiti State before, during, and after the election on Saturday, 11th April 2015. Council also strongly appeals to INEC to discharge its duties without fear or favor to ensure the credibility of the election.
On the side of INEC, the Commission reiterated its readiness for Saturday's poll, saying INEC will conduct the elections irrespective of the ongoing crisis.
Preparatory to the House of Assembly election. No, we don't have governorship election in Ekiti State. We have only House of Assembly election in Ekiti State. And part of our preparations for the election is the distribution of these materials to our government area offices. We are fully prepared for Saturday election, inshallah.
As NEMA also returns to Ekiti with the House of Assembly election in focus, the next line of action from the warring factions still remain unknown. Rashid, Court TV News, Ado-Ekiti.
And there is no doubt that the governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, is facing perhaps the toughest challenge of his political life, as 19 All-Progressive Congress lawmakers in the state are still determined to impeach him. They have already served impeachment notice on Fayose, accusing him of committing impeachable offences and seem to have the court backing to proceed. But as Basi Okafo reports, many Abuja residents are wondering why the lawmakers have suddenly realized that the governor has to be impeached barely 2 months to the end of their tenure. Report.
The political tempo in Ekiti State is rising by the day. Attempts by the embattled governor to save his office through the judiciary seems to be dimming. Now, a federal high court in Abuja has refused to grant ex parte application filed by Fayose to stop the 19 House of Assembly members from impeaching him. The court only ordered the defendants to appear before it and show cause, while the order of interim injunction being sought by the plaintiff should not be granted. With this latest development, many are wondering why Fayose is facing an impeachment threat.
It's a kind of a payback time on something that has been done that was not right. In a situation where you have 26 or 27 on the House, in the House of Assembly, and you deny the 18, the majority, access to enter into National and State Assembly, and then the 7 are now greater than 19. Among the minority, there was a speaker and the budget was appropriated. So now the reason why they have to come back is to come and correct the wrong, because that is corruption as far as democracy, because you need to try to make a major decision. The issue of budget has to be passed with, at least you have to form chorus, which is not been done. Not only that, it denied the people that elected these people into office the mandate for their people to deliver to them by denying them access to deliver the kind of job they have sent him. So this time around, the rule of law is being played out by them to have access to that place, because minority in democracy cannot rule but cannot be stronger than majority.
As the political drama continues to unfold in Ekiti, a number of analysts are attributing the sudden move to impeach the governor to the victory of the president-elect, Muhammadu Buhari.
Well, everybody have the right to express he or her own opinion over a certain issue.
Ekiti state government, they've been using the power of incumbency. That's from the federal government to stop the lawmakers from carrying out their legislative function. And now that the federal government, the government in power, has lose election and they are outgoing government. So the Ekiti state government legislator now, they have now come back to carry out their legislative function, because the instrument of the state now at the federal level has now changed to, is now with the APC, and everybody realized that.
For now, the stakes are high, and even though these people are several kilometers away from Ado Ekiti, they, like many Nigerians, are watching the situation with keen interest.
And now Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba has ordered a restriction of vehicular movement in all 36 states of the Federation from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, April 11. This, he says, is in line with efforts to ensure safety and security during the governorship and state houses of assembly election. The police said in a statement that vehicles on essential duties such as fire service, ambulances and vehicles used by the Independent National Electoral Commission and law enforcement agency are free to move around. There is, however, no restriction of movement in the Federal Capital Territory because no election is holding there. The police authorities have barred voters in Kano from taking bags to any of the polling units in the state. This, they said, is part of measures to ensure maximum security during Saturday's governorship and State House of Assembly election. Police Commissioner Ibrahim Idris said this on a day the new resident electoral commissioner for Kano, Hussaini Raji, disclosed that election materials have been sent to all 44 local government areas.
We've built on what we have provided in the last election, and we promise that we are going to give maximum security. And from the INEC point of view, which I'm sure the REC will later brief you, everything is ready for this election. As usual, we are calling on people of the state to give us maximum support, as they did in the last election. In fact, they should give us more support now. People should be patient at the polling units. People who assist the security agencies trying to obey instructions they are given, especially in areas of restriction of movements, in areas of trying to provide, orderliness at the polling units. As we have indicated earlier in the last election, we are still maintaining, the directives we've given out earlier to ensure that this election is conducted in an orderly and peaceful manner. And these directives, obviously include the restriction of movements. But in our present meeting we had, we've made some adjustments in the restriction of movements. Restriction of movement is now going to be from 6 o'clock in the morning till possibly 5 or 6 in the afternoon, so that people can obviously be able to, so that we have orderliness in some of these areas, so that election can be conducted in an orderly manner. Other restrictions, as we have also observed in the last election, is that the ban on these quasi-security agencies, Karuta, Vigilante, all they still remain banned. We don't need them.
INEC of Kano State, we are fully prepared to provide a free, fair and credible election come Saturday 11th of this month for the governorship and state assembly elections. The materials, both sensitive and non-sensitive, have all now been distributed to the 44 local government areas of Kano State, and the smart card readers that will be used have been reconfigured and fully charged, and we even have enough backup to ensure that we have a smooth election on Saturday.
Meanwhile, the police have deployed special police units to address security concerns in Rivers State. The police team includes 32 units of police mobile force, 4 units of counter-terrorism, 4 units of special protection, and 6 crack teams of detectives from Force Criminal Investigation Department. This is in response to allegations of harassment and intimidation of supporters of rival political parties. And ahead of the governorship and House of Assembly elections, Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amaechi has accused the wife of the President, Patience Jonathan, of pressurizing the Independent National Electoral Commission and security agencies to rig the governorship election in the state. Amaechi will observe that President Goodluck Jonathan's wife was in Okrika, her hometown, for the governorship election in hopes that there would not be a repeat of election malpractices in the state. The governor made his allegation during a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt. He says the resident electoral commissioner in the state, Jesila Khan, already had a mindset of delivering the state to People's Democratic Party. He warned that the governorship candidate of the PDP, Nyesom Wike, must answer for the killings in Ogba, Egbema, and in Joni local government area. Amaechi insisted that INEC must make available regional result sheets at all polling units and call on the people of the state not to allow the election to hold without result sheets. Calling on the electorate not to allow anybody to intimidate them, Amaechi explained that communities should use the UBIMA, his community formula, by locking down their villages to ensure that nobody would steal their votes. He warned that INEC should not endanger the lives of its staff by deliberately withholding the result sheets or failing to do what was expected of them according to the law. Less than 24 hours to the conduct of election, the 24 legislative seat of Edo State House of Assembly expected materials to be used during the exercise are now been distributed ahead of time to overcome challenges which accompanied last elections. As the materials are being conveyed to their various destinations across the 18 local government areas of the state, security personnel are stationed to give adequate protection, while the various party agents ensure the right materials as stated are intact. Some of the party agents who spoke to newsmen at the INEC office in Benin both commended the process while also expressing reservation.
But the final destination, as I earlier said, is what matters. But for now, not much. The process is going on. We are monitoring it. Then each party have their agents here. So we hope that we will have a free and fair election. We hope for it.
Political parties, we are here because of our party, PDP. And from what we have seen here, we are impressed because we have taken inventory of what they brought, the various forms we have recorded, just like we did the last time. And all the local governments have written what they have seen here. It must tally with what they brought, and that is the instructions we were given.
That where the margin of win of the two leading candidates is not in excess of the total number of registered voters in places, polling units, in wards where elections have either been cancelled or not held, as returning officers declined to make a return.
You're watching Midday News. We'll take a break now. Be back shortly with much stories. Join us again.
Morning, sir. How are you, Mr. President? How are you, sir? How is the campaign?
We must learn to live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. Martin Luther King, Jr.
You can also interact with us on our social media platforms like our Facebook page is facebook.com/CourtTV News. You can also follow at CourtTV News NG. And for live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CourtTV with the space, then news. President Goodluck Jonathan has described the late Oronto Douglas as a committed and dedicated individual. The president made the remark when he led Vice President Amadi Sambo and other government officials on a condolence visit to the family of the deceased at his Asokoro residence in Abuja. He also described the former Commissioner of Information in Bayelsa State as a patriot or contributed positively to the development of the country. The environmentalist died in early hours of Thursday at State House Clinic from cancer-related complications.
It's quite a sad moment, even though we knew it was coming, but it was quite sad. Myself and Douglas are from the same local governments in Bayelsa State, but I knew him first when I was doing my PhD research work. He was an environmental activist. I was doing some aspects of the ecology of the Niger Delta, and my supervisor then, one Canadian, Professor Powell, knew him, and we met in his house. But then when I came into politics, my governor then, I was the deputy governor to Chief DSP Alamisi. He was appointed Commissioner for Information. So since then, we've been close. When I came here as the vice president, he came with me as my advisor on documentation and strategy. A post he held until this morning. Even when I became acting president, he continued as my advisor on strategy and documentation. Very dedicated young man, very committed. I was here last Saturday, even though he knew, because the doctors told him in America that he was going to die in 3 weeks. And he came and he knew it was coming, but he was still very passionate about his work. I've never seen such a person with just kind of a strong will. I think Oronto was a good man. He left us too early, but God knows the best.
For us today, that we have lost a very good friend, a brother, and a patriotic Nigerian. Oronto Douglas is a person of integrity, a patriot, and we pray to Almighty God that his soul shall rest in perfect peace, and pray that the family that he has left behind will have the fortitude to bear this great loss.
Meanwhile, President-elect Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with President Goodluck Jonathan over the demise of his special advisor on strategy and documentation, Aronto Douglas, and a condolence message to the president and made available to the media by the Directorate of Media and Publicity APC presidential campaign in Abuja. General Buhari expressed sadness on the death of the president's long-standing aide. He described Aronto Douglas as a young and dynamic individual who still has a lot to offer the country. And our President-elect Muhammadu Buhari has commended Italy and other members of the European Union for standing by Nigeria before and during the ongoing elections. Speaking while receiving Ambassador Fulvio Rustico, the Italian ambassador to Nigeria, at his residence on Thursday in Abuja, General Buhari acknowledged the key roles in European Union nations and the United States played in stabilizing Nigeria at a challenging period. Receiving a letter of congratulations from the Italian President Sergio Mattarella, which was delivered by the Ambassador Rustico, Buhari promised to pay attention to areas that will enhance the existing bilateral relations between the two countries. In his letter to the President-elect, the Italian President congratulated General Buhari on his victory and commended Nigerians for the peaceful conduct of the elections. He said Italy was prepared to assist Nigeria in managing domestic terrorism, drawing from its own experience with internal terror in the 70s and 80s. Meanwhile, the Nigerian community in Oman has welcomed General Buhari's victory in the presidential election, describing the outcome of the election as one that has brought happiness to everyone in the community. And now barely 24 hours to the governorship and House of Assembly elections, Lagosians are getting ready to decide what takes over the mantle of leadership from the incumbent governor, Babatunde Fashola. Our correspondent Patience Ajiboye has more.
Even though the number of accredited voters in Lagos at the March 28th presidential polls was 5,827,846, and valid votes cast 1,443,686, Lagos residents say they are ready to exercise their voting right. And just as it was done at the presidential election in the state, they can only ask for credible and violence-free polls.
Expectations in terms of we want there to be continuity, let the change drive be on the move, let it be ongoing.
My fellow Lagosians should just come outside and vote, not fight. Vote peacefully and vote for the right candidates that would move Lagos forward. I know whom I'm voting for, and I'll go out that very day to vote.
We are expecting the race, and the race is going to depend on the results. But we know that one of them will win the race, because we cannot really say this is the person that's going to win the race. So we are expecting the result by Sunday.
This resident says, although she has been disenfranchised, she expects peaceful polls come Saturday.
I would have loved to exercise my franchise, but somehow, I guess as a result of some irregularities, I wasn't able to get my voter's card. I tried on few occasions, and each time I get to the unit, I'll be told mine is not available. But all the same, I expect a fantastic election. I pray that the right candidate comes on board, and I pray that it will be peaceful as the presidential was too.
Just as residents are on their marks to run a race of choice making, it is expected that Nigeria's electoral body, INEC, is all set to ensure a casualty-free race. Patience Ajiboye, Core TV News, Lagos.
And outside Nigeria now, U.S. President Barack Obama and Cuba's Raul Castro will have a historic face-to-face encounter at the summit of the Americas this week, breaking the ice after decades of glacial relations. The image of U.S. and Cuban presidents sitting across from each other at the 35-nation summit for the first time after decades of Cold War era will be the highlight of the gathering in Panama on Friday and Saturday. A major sticking point has been Cuba's inclusion on a list of state sponsors of terrorism. The White House indicated this week that the State Department was in the final stages of deciding whether to recommend Havana's removal from the list, and that Congress would have 45 days to decide whether to override the decision. Well, and it's a wrap at Midday News. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Bye for now.